Crab cakes and football, that's what Maryland does. Look no further than the Annapolis Navigators here in the SFLm, who took a 3-point victory over Madison in the season opener this past Friday. The Navs welcome the Adams of Albuquerque to port after their stunning loss to Lincoln. Good afternoon, folks. I'm Tyler Falk, and joining me once again in the commentary box tonight is the SFL Commissioner, Cameron Irvine. Cam, good to have you back in the box. What can you tell us about the matchup here tonight?
Well, Tyler, last week we saw Albuquerque, and their season did not get off to the start that they had hoped. Annapolis was playing in the game opposite us, so we didn't get to see as much of the Navigators, but I do know one name, and that's Chris Grant Jr. I expect we see a lot of him tonight on the ground for the Navigators.
Had a great game, didn't he? 168 yards and a touchdown with a long of 31. We'll see if the Navigators can maybe pile on a little bit more worry onto the defending champs of Albuquerque. They will kick us off tonight. Back deep to return is Bob Wood. Ball on the tee is Louis Monsieur for Annapolis. Set to go here in week 2 as here we go from Maryland. Here in the great New England part of the United States. Here's Wood, right side. Good, decent little return from Wood, all the way up to around the 30-yard line. That's the right way to start off a football game if you're on the special teams unit. But out comes Ty Patak now here for the Adams. He did okay, Cam, in the opener. About 72% completion percentage, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions truly cost his team last week.
Both these quarterbacks led the league last week in interceptions with 3. Patak and Brown both will try to clean it up tonight.
Linebackers show a blitz with him back off. It gives a little bit extra time for maybe Camp to come away with a catch, but unfortunately, Major Camp is unable to. Let's meet the rest of that Adam offense, shall we? Of course, we mentioned Patak, the quarterback. Josh Slapp is the tailback, with the wide receiving core being as follows: Joe Idle, Bob Wood, and Sam Harrison. 2 tight ends on the line here for the Adams. That's Thomas Leclerc and the aforementioned Major Camp. Linebackers again will show blitz here for Annapolis on 2nd and 10. They'll go with a run near side for Slapp. Unfortunately, he is brought down by Nick Twice, the cornerback on that left-hand side. That'll drop him back a yard, and it makes it 3rd and 11.
28 on 28 crime there. Slapp had his moments last week, but overall, Albuquerque's offense stalled there in that second half. We'll see what kind of adjustments they made this week.
4 wideouts here for the Adams here on only their 3rd play of the ball game. This little stunt up the middle as Annapolis send 3. Good reading of the football by the defender. Got in front of Sam Harrison, the intended target, and it's a quick 3 and out for the Adam offense.
You know, Annapolis' defense was strong last week, holding Madison to 14 points. That was just 1 point lower than San Jose's total in week 1. So the Navigators' defense has put things together early on, and they added a new piece on offense this week, which we'll get to here in just a moment.
Here comes the punt from Ralph Bennington. This one is on its way to Kenny Hendricks. He'll try and make a return. He'll get up to about the 37-yard line and no further. Let's first meet the quarterback, Michael Brown, here for Annapolis. He, in his first game here in the SFLm, 20 of 30, 152 yards. Again, not a whole lot of production on his side of the ball, but he did lead his team to a win.
Brown's mistakes came early on in that football game, and then they really turned it on in the second half as well.
3 wide. Here comes Brown's first pass, left-hand side. That is hauled in by Goldie Morrison, the two-way player out of Jacksonville. That's a 6-yard pickup. And let's go ahead and meet the rest of Annapolis. And, of course, the new Week 2 signing, who we'll talk about here in just a second. Chris Grant, of course, is the tailback, with Brad Taylor Wright. Fullback, Johan Sutherland. Goldie Morrison and Kenny Hendricks are the wide receivers, with Kedrian Quinzel Jones, the tight end, and the new Week 2 signing, also a tight end, Romeo Jew. Little flip out left side is good for a first down. That one connects with Chris Grant. He gets to midfield, and that's a Navs first down.
I'm surprised Grant even has the ability to walk after last week. He was used so much in the game plan for Annapolis. 39 carries, Tyler. That's like almost impossible. They worked him to the bone, and he's off to a good start again this evening.
You're right, only a quick 5-day turnaround between the two games as he'll get a call up the middle as Albuquerque guessed outside, and the Navigators went up the gut, and that's a 9-yard pickup.
Annapolis off to a strong start. Welcome to the field tonight, Romeo June, signing this week. Will play tight end alongside Kendrian Quinzel Jones. We'll see if Romeo can get a block or a reception or two in some heavy sets.
Be out here again on this formation in a single back ace look. Second and short. They'll go again up the middle, and that's a good looking run again here for Grant Jr. Another first down for the Navigators as they will delve deeper into the Albuquerque side of the field.
No star offensive lineman on this Annapolis team, but they do have fullback Brad Taylor Wright, number 44. Keep an eye on him when he's in the ball game, and then of course those two tight ends. This could turn into a power running team real quick.
Those two tight ends are on the left-hand side. They said they will try and do a little screen pass in that direction. Grant on the catch. He will turn up the field and get blasted by Luis Quintana, the outside linebacker, after a gain of 5. And let's meet the rest of Quintana and the Adams defense, shall we? Evan Miller is leading the way in those defensive trenches on the left defensive end spot. Linebackers Jesus Smith, left outside linebacker, Luis Quintana, right outside linebacker, and week 2 signing middle linebacker Trent Windsor. That's your linebacking core. Tobias Gordon and Jadabidu are the corners, alongside Alex Marshall and Melodious Manning, safety spots. That run from Grant goes about for 1 yard, and there's Evan Miller there on a stop.
3rd and 4 coming up. Miller last week with a couple of assisted tackles, got in the backfield for a half a sack. There weren't a ton of sacks in SFLm in week number 1, but Evan Miller was involved and is involved early on this opening drive.
3rd and medium. Annapolis with 3 wide receivers. Here comes Brown's pass over the middle, and that drive ends the way that the Albuquerque drive ended, with some great defending over the middle. That's the new signee Windsor there with the deflection, makes an early impact and stops the drive.
Love to see that. Your first action in SFLm, and Trent Windsor gets a pass deflection to his name. Everybody loves a pass deflecting linebacker in the SFL, and Windsor 6'3", 235, making an impact early.
So they are going to attempt a very long field goal here for Luis Monsieur. This one will be about a 47-yarder from the left hash. This will be a good test of the rookie's leg strength. Ball is up. It has the distance, and it has the accuracy. How about that, Monsieur? That'll put the home crowd into a little bit of a frenzy. It's 3-0 for the Navigators.
And Luis came out and missed his first field goal of his career last week. And, you know, the home crowd was like, oh, I don't know about that. But he bounced back, hit his second from 39 yards. That's a new career high for Monsieur from 47. So he's building some confidence, and Annapolis has our first points.
So here comes the return team here for Albuquerque. Wood on the return. Not as good as his first one, which he got up to the 30-yard line. This time only gets up to the 26. And, well, we have a moment. Let's go ahead and introduce that Annapolis Navigator defense. On the line is Stephen Forbes at defensive tackle. Linebackers are Wolf Highwind and Mo John Tana are the outside linebackers. Corners are Nick Twice and Luke Schreider. And safeties are Strike Vader, Will Stern, and Ibari Amen England. Deep drop here from Patak, launching it near sideline. Oh, and a great deflection from Twice on Idle.
And Twice, we've now mentioned his name. Nick Twice last week, 4 tackles, 2 assisted was kind of quiet in the box score. That is a difficult play to make on the outside on an island. One of the more impressive plays by a corner I've seen so far this season.
Excellent reading of this young season by the cornerback partner. You mentioned it. And as we've seen a couple of times, especially on this first drive, the second play of the first drive was also a power run. Same exact play, same exact result, partner. A loss of 1 after the tackle by Highwind. Really, Albuquerque's got to change something up. Otherwise, it's going to be wash, rinse, repeat, 3 and out again. They come out just like they did on the first drive in a 4 wide receiver set. Attack this time has plenty of time. Now it's a step up, and it gets to him. He took a little bit too long. That just goes to excellent coverage down there, but Stephen Farbs with the sack.
You know that meme, Tyler, when you say, when you close your eyes, you say, well, somebody's got to be open down there. Well, that kind of seemed like Type Attack closed his eyes as he started running and says, well, I'm sure I'll be protected and safe. Yeah, I don't think so. That was immediately blown up in the backfield. Beautiful play there from Stephen Forbes on the line. And good start for the Navigators here this evening.
My big question is does that put Patak on the Forbes list just because Forbes came up with the sack? I don't know. We'll come back to that here in a second.
That's awesome. We need a column on the website for that, the Forbes list. That's great.
Forbes list. I mean, if we can have the Rick meter, we certainly can have a Forbes list here for the SFL. Well, here come the Navigators on drive number 2. Michael Brown will trot up to the line in a shotgun look. He's got Grant Jr. off to his right-hand side with 3 wideouts. Nickel look here from Albuquerque. They try and go with the run in the gun, and Grant Jr. can go nowhere. Trent Windsor again in on another tackle. He was helped up by one of his teammates, but that's another good stop for the new signing.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. And Windsor was a much needed addition to this defense going into week 1 with no inside linebacker. It's pretty uncommon in SFLm, and Windsor a huge pickup.
Albuquerque switches from a 4-2 nickel to a 3-3 nickel, and it results in a pretty decent stop on Grant, only a 2-yard pickup, who's averaging just over 3 yards per carry, and it brings up 3rd down.
Now, Grant wasn't necessarily efficient. He was pretty good last week in terms of yards per carry, but what it did was it really shortened the game. Annapolis made it a game of possessions with Madison and ended up on the winning end of that one.
Empty backfield. Brown going to look to the corner route, and he threw that into double coverage. Thankfully, it hits the hands of his intended receiver. That's the tight end, Kedrian Quinzel Jones, but it does fall incomplete.
I like the idea here, though, from Brown. You see the loft that he put on the football. That is going to be a much harder ball to intercept because you're giving Quinzel Jones a pretty good opportunity to go up and get that thing. Didn't get it completed, but I like the thought process there from Michael Brown.
That means there will be a punt here from from Pete Carmichael. He steps back to about his own 29-yard line. Bob Wood set deep to return. And that punt will get away just over the 5-minute mark here in the first quarter. Return from Wood goes nowhere, destroyed at the 19-yard line. That is where Albuquerque will try and stop their 3-and-out woes here on the next drive. But we want to remind you that you should visit the all-new league website presented by Football Shift at simulationfl.net, featuring all the league highlights, photo galleries, playoff and minor league stats, leaderboards, community content, and so much more. The all-new league website, simulationfl.net. Another deep drop coming here for Patak, and this time it almost finds the hands of another receiver. How many times have we seen that already tonight? Identical looking play to the one of the last drive, and again incomplete.
Amon Eaglin, the two-way player out of Carolina, with that deflection. I was hoping you were going to say something about the website, because if you actually go to SFLm and then teams, and you go to the team pages, it actually has all the leaders and all the player stats for the season for each team right on those pages. We didn't have that on the old website, and it's a beautiful asset to have, especially for SFLm in games like this.
Out route right side, it is caught. That's a good pickup of about 7 yards, and I have to echo the praises, partner, about this news site. It is fast, it is streamlined, and there's a lot more information on it than we were ever able to get with that previous website. Go check it out, simulationfl.net.
Just finished the championship history page last night. It's got all the archive games and some details about all the championships in the past 10 years.
Ooh, I gotta go check that out. Lofted pass intended for one of his receivers. That was the fullback Gladwin Sky, and unfortunately he can't bring it in. I think that Patak is 0 of a lot at the moment, 0 of 5 at least on his first few passes.
Yeah, Albuquerque's still trying to put the pieces together after the second half implosion to Lincoln last week, and I don't even want to call it an implosion. It was kind of like quicksand. They just kind of stopped, being efficient offensively and getting things going. Annapolis' secondary has really come to play, though. They're making things difficult on time.
Short little return up to the 38-yard line, and the return man there, Hendricks, goes no further. And if you're wondering, well, what the heck is the Simulation Football League website, or what the heck is the Simulation Football League, or the minor league in general? But if you're new to the SFL or the Simulation Football League, we combine traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations, as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit that brand new website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, it's football for everyone. There's Chris Grant on another carry, gains about 4 yards. He was stopped up at the 43-yard line, and that's where we see 2nd and 6 coming up. 3-wide look here for the Navigators with Grant in the backfield. Michael Brown under center. See a pitch play near side, and Grant gets out of 1, but is shouldered down after picking up a few more by Jesus Smith at the 45.
Don't look now, Tyler, but the Lexington Miners are about to be up 21-zip on Tacoma, who won last week in the opener against Ottawa. Kind of a stunning score right now, as Lexington looking real sharp here at the start of the season.
Wow, 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 wow. And as Albuquerque say wow, 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 and jump offside, Brown throws a pass over the middle intended for Quinzel Jones. That's incomplete. Katana there on the hit. Unfortunately, that means Evan Miller jumped offside. We saw him jump offside in week 1. He's going 2 for 2 in weeks 2 offsides penalties, unfortunately. That'll be a free 5 yards and a free first down here for the Navigators, and the drive will continue.
I'd like to see John Sutherland, Kenny Hendricks, the two of the wide receivers on the outside for this team, get a little bit more involved. They've kept things close to the vest through the first 5 quarters of their season. See what they can do down the field.
So out of the eye, they go with a run. Grant up the middle with some great blocking, and he finally gets wrapped up by Alex Marshall at the 37-yard line. A pickup of 13.
Just what I said. Be boring, running between the tackles. You'll be fine. Chris Grant Jr. with another nice run, but, I mean, he didn't get touched until maybe 8 yards down the field, Tyler. Some really good blocking up front.
Looking for more of the same to probably get Chris Grant up to that 150-yard mark again this week. As Albuquerque trying to protect the run. Now stack 8 men in the box and send the blitz. Little shot over the middle is incomplete. Hit the receiver, Romeo June, the week 2 signing tight end, right in the shoulder pads, and it's incomplete.
We're for all that Romeo, right, Tyler? That's the moment right there. Get your first catch. Hopefully, Michael Brown won't give up on him too much, and he'll get another target.
How many more of these references are we going to come up with tonight? I mean, we've got Jadooby-Doo, a quarterback for for Albuquerque. He makes an interception here on this next play. You're probably hearing a certain theme song. 2nd and 10, 4 wide receivers. It will be a run up the middle for Grant. No time for Dew to do anything except his linebacker friends help him out. No gain on the play.
And that's another stop for Trent Windsor. This dude is all over the field. He is playing really well. Evan Miller out there as well. That'll force a 3rd and 10 and force Michael Brown into a passing situation. Has kept a clean sheet so far tonight.
3rd and longs, though, have been their kryptonite, and this time they will connect on a 3rd and 10. As Brown will hook up with Goldie Morrison. That's another Nav first down.
Morrison, I believe, a free agent out of Jacksonville. And, you know, this is an opportunity to show your stuff, show what you can do against some of the newer competition in the league. Really give yourself a chance to stand out. And Morrison's taking full advantage of the opportunity so far this season. Only had 11 yards on 2 catches last week, but they're making it a point to get him more involved.
The handoff by Grant goes for about 3 yards. Yes, you are correct. 1 of 13 known wide receiver free agents on the market currently here in the SFL free agency period, though I think he's the only one on that list that is in the minor league as a two-way player. Second and 7. The handoff, little trap play, and I think the guard got a little tied up with the quarterback. Took a little bit too long to develop, and it's only a minimal gain there for Grant. Brings up another 3rd down.
Quintana in the area, 3rd and 6. Lincoln was great on 3rd down last week, and if Annapolis continues to convert these 3rd downs, maybe we'll see what Lincoln does later tonight, but maybe we start to think that it's Albuquerque's 3rd down defense that needs some tweaking.
Bump coverage there on the outside, and the 4 wide receivers. Brown going to look to the end zone. That is caught, and it's a touchdown! Quinzel Jones, hashtag throw it to the tight end, and the Navigators extend their lead.
Pretty ball. I mean, that is just right in the breadbasket from Michael Brown. He was so clutch last week in that game-winning drive to top Madison, and Brown definitely looks like a more confident quarterback here in this first quarter than he did last week. The back-to-back defending champs looked vulnerable last week, and Annapolis senses the blood in the water.
We saw that play earlier here already in the first quarter. It didn't quite work out. Brown threw that ball into double coverage. This time he gets it out a little quicker and a little bit lower. Finds Quinzel Jones, gets the touchdown, and it's 10-0 with under a minute to go here in the first quarter.
Quinzel Jones with the game winner last week. Johan Sutherland actually led the Navigators in receiving yards with just 46, but Michael Brown was able to spread the ball around 6 different receivers with a catch.
Right now, only 2 receivers have gotten receptions. If I do my internal math right, Goldie Morrison and Jones had receptions. We saw June get a target. I think we've seen Kendricks get a target. I think they're the only 2 out there besides Grant that is the tailback that has gotten a catch. But here comes Albuquerque's offense now to change things up. Nothing has worked so far for them tonight here on offense. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Handoff near side, little stutter step from Slap, and he did try to do a little bit too much. He had the corner, just couldn't get up to speed quick enough.
That's a running back, Tyler, that's a little unsure of himself right now. A nice move to kind of freeze the defense, but then Slap was unable to make a decision quickly, right? Sometimes as a running back, you just have to get north and south. The rest will figure itself out.
Shotgun look here for Patak. As timed, it's running out, gets rid of it. That's a catch. First completion of the ball game results in a first down for Joe Idle and the Adams.
Idle was a star last week as we hit the end of the first.
10-0. Defending champs already down in a 10-point hole. the Annapolis Navigators. You're watching the Simulation Football Minor League presented by APM Music right here on SFL YouTube.
Idle was a star last week, leads the league in receiving yards after his Week 1 performance. And one thing that Type Attack has always shown is great patience in the pocket on that last play to let that deep in route develop.
First play of the second quarter is a run for Slap, and that's a little bit more confident running from him. Gets up to the 40-yard line as we welcome you back to Annapolis, Maryland. Tyler Falk and the SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine here on the call. Thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday evening. Here, Week 2 of the Simulation Football Minor League, the SFL Championship. Only about 48 hours away, and it's a rematch. Cameron, you know all about this. Arizona, Baltimore. We'll get into that here later tonight. Second down carry, though, for Slap goes nowhere. They'll say he got back to the line of scrimmage, but I think Justin Petersburg has a claim to say that's a tackle behind the line.
And third down again here for Type Attack in a throwing situation. I think the biggest surprise of this game, I mean, Annapolis' secondary is pretty good last week, but the fact that Josh Slap has been unable to get going, too, is a little bit of a shocker.
Tackle change things up the line. Autobot out of the play. Looking deep over the middle. That is caught inside the 40-yard line of the Navigators to 39. Go the Adams, and it's Bob Wood hauling it in.
Just 11 yards last week. Wood already over that. I love Ty's aggressiveness. He had a couple of routes underneath that looked a little bit more open to me as the ball sailed down the field, but no, he's always looking to gunsling. Bob Wood makes his most impactful play of the minor league season so far.
Timing was excellent. Strike Vader in the area. The strong safety just couldn't get there in time. Results in an Adam first down. A single back look here for the Adams. 5-step drop from a tackling the left side. That's a wide open receiver, and that'll pick up 8 yards here as they will now have a little bit more confidence. Idle with the reception, and maybe that play from Wood has sparked something here for Albuquerque.
Yeah, I think at the end of that quarter break, the Adams coaching staff got together with the team and said, hey, not much went right for us, but it's just 10-0. It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. Let's go out there, play our game, and we'll put a drive together, and that's what they're doing right now.
Most of that staff from the Atlanta area as the run left side, and there is Slap's best run of the night up to the 23-yard line.
Nice counter play there. Beautiful pull to the outside. Slap following the lane created by the bigger boys up front. That's just pretty football.
Clearly Albuquerque's best drive of the ball game, and I agree with head coach Joshua Williams. They are currently playing Albuquerque Adam football here at the moment, having their will with this Navigator defense. Another good run. Good little power run up the middle. It's a 9-yard pickup for Slap and the Adams.
This is why you don't abandon your principles too early on in a football game, right? Only do it when you absolutely have to. It's kind of like 2-point conversions. Only go for it when you absolutely have to. Albuquerque staying true, even though it wasn't working in the first quarter. They're bending the will now.
Little slide out past left side. It's caught near the 10-yard line. Slap at the moment has a first down, but a flag came in late. Let's get the call from R62.
Blocking the back. Oh, yeah.
That's coming back, folks. Unfortunately, the Adams get tagged, and that is Major Camp with a major block. Infraction behind the line means a 10 or so yard loss here for Albuquerque.
From the spot and the down stand, so 2nd and 12. It was up the field, trying to get some blocking. Still in field goal range, but obviously a setback.
We're on 2nd and long. They come out here in a goal line eye. 8 men in the box here for the Navigator defense, and they will try a counter run left side with Slap. Slap with a couple of good blocks. That picks up about 5 yards to the 20-yard line. They're right back in the red zone after the penalty knocked them out of it.
7:10 left here in the first. So far, Annapolis playing at their pace. Albuquerque would like to pick up that pace, but right now it seems like Albuquerque instead rather just wants to find a rhythm.
Pass over the middle. It's almost caught with one hand by Marcus Brody. Oh, that would have been something. Unfortunately, it's out of his hands, and here comes James Humphreys onto the field for the first time for a field goal.
I think it would have been short of the first down anyway. That was on the takedown. Dan Diedrich forcing an easier decision for Albuquerque to just kick the field goal.
That means, as I mentioned earlier, Humphreys will attempt a 36-yard field goal from the left hash. His counterpart made one from about 47 from the same hash mark. In the first quarter, his field goal is up, and his is also good. Kickers already on point here earlier tonight, 10-3, with the Navigators still with a 7-point lead. Who's going to win the rematch? The Season 20 SFL Championship game takes center stage Friday, May 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on SFL YouTube for all the marbles. 11-3 Baltimore Vultures try to win their 5th championship in the last 6 seasons, but will have to do it at Fatality Field against MVP frontrunner DJ Moses III and the 11-3 Arizona Scorpions. Join that man, Cameron Irvine, Chris Curtis, Mike St. Green, Paul Sarp, and me, Tyler Falk, for all the action Friday night, right here on SFL YouTube.
And if Arizona loses that game, Tyler, they'll go 0-4 in their franchise history in championship games. Are there a couple NFL teams that have gone 0-4 in Super Bowls?
Thanks for reminding me, Cam, and my Minnesota Vikings.
I couldn't remember who it was. Do you know who it was?
Sure, Packer fan, sure. Little swing pass near side goes backward a yard as I have to think about who my friends are after that last comment from the commissioner.
Hey, man, I'm your friend.
I know.
And I just want you to remember the bad times so that your good times are better. They feel better. That's
what do you mean good times? What do you mean good times? We don't have a couple championships like you guys over in Green Bay do, or we don't even have a decent quarterback. We have Kirk Cousins who all he has is stats, and you like that? You like that? No, Kirk, I don't like that. As the pass over the middle to Quinzel Jones goes nowhere. Just like the Vikings playoff hopes.
I want Quinzel Jones to play Scrabble with me because his name alone would get me 40 points or something. I love when people Quinzel Jones is a great football name. That's just a great job. Hopefully that's his real name. That'd be really cool.
That would be awesome. We need Quinzel Jones to show up at the convention here in Cincinnati. We'll talk more about the convention here later as it's a nice pick. Drifting backwards behind him to come away with the interception was Al Ingram III.
Nice play, but Michael Brown just trying to do a little bit too much here. You could see that even though the safety didn't get the interception, he jumped the route. Brown telegraphed the pass. Sometimes when you got the defending champs on the ropes and you have the momentum, you just don't have to do too much. That's a lesson that Michael Brown will learn over time. Now, and Albuquerque's got some serious juice.
They're already set up in Humphreys' field goal range, so they probably could come away with a stop if they wanted to. Swing pass left side. Slap did well enough to haul it in, but it doesn't get anything for it. No gain.
Man, Lexington about to score again, Tyler. It's crazy. 21-0 in the third. They're about to put another touchdown up on the board. We maybe talk about Lexington being some favorites that keep this up over the next couple of weeks.
Well, NEPMA just came out with their power rankings. I don't know who runs that channel or anything, or maybe coming back with it. We'll talk more about that here in just a second. Kirk Cousins. Gladwin Sky couldn't come up with the reception, but let's go back and talk about the power rankings that were released here for the league. Lexington coming into the week, Cam, we're the number one power ranked team this weekend, and right now it's looking like a pretty good selection.
Yeah, they look really sharp tonight so far, and Albuquerque would love to prove us wrong. Say something about that.
Here comes Patak on third down, stepping up, avoiding the pressure, but throws it right to Wolf Highwind, who did the bare minimum there, swatting the ball away, and that'll force another long field goal out of Humphreys.
I was pulling double duty earlier tonight when Highwind made his first play, but 14 total tackles last week. Highwind was a monster. Compare that to Mojon Tana with the 6 total tackles, and Wolf was the star of the linebacking crew, second season of SFLm action.
48-yard attempt here from Humphreys, dead smack center of the field. This one's drifting a little bit, but it does find purchase between the uprights. It's another 3 points here for Humphreys and the Adams, and it's now only a 4-point lead. We talked about this, but here it comes. The SFL convention is coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, July 28th through the 30th for season 21's kickoff weekend. For room reservation details and the weekend schedule, see the hashtag convention alerts channel in the SFL Discord server. Rooms are going fast, and some, if not most, have already sold out. Reserve your special group rate today, and we'll see you there. Good looking return here from the Annapolis return man, Kenny Hendricks, as he shimmy shakes his way to the 25-yard line. And we'll see now if Brown is able to recover from the interception he threw on the last drive.
Yeah, I've asked for an updated list, Tyler, because I was looking things over last night, and I thought, boy, we are pretty close to a sellout at this point. If you haven't gotten your room yet, you're interested in getting to Cincinnati, make sure to lock that down, because hotel prices in Cincinnati that time of year, they are not cheap unless you got the SFL rate. Oh, good
coming.
throw.
Oh, pass. Finding Johan Sutherland in a very tight window. That's a first down for the Navigators.
Michael Brown throwing like the scouts are watching. Watch the zip on this one. Phew, right in there. Man, that was his best throw of the night easily. Pretty ball gets Annapolis a first down. That's a way to bounce back from an interception.
Beautiful pass, switch thumper, needle, eye through the eye of a needle. Oh my. First and 10 here for the Navigators. And SFL convention, meanwhile, looking to be the biggest in SFL history. Cannot wait to be there. Cannot wait to see so many of you in Cincinnati. Oh my goodness. Stop it, Grant Jr. You dismantled the Madison Lynx last week. You had to dismantle one here against Albuquerque. Come on, man.
One of the things I like most about the minor league, Tyler, is a guy like Chris Grant Jr. last season, he really struggled. I mean, he was brand new running back. It takes a long time to be great as a running back in the SFL, and you can see the maturation of Chris Grant Jr. in the first 2 weeks.
Little trap play, and he continues to be on display as he gets the next carry up to midfield.
4:25 left. Annapolis, despite not having as good of a second quarter as the first, and they still have the lead. They are still the alpha right now. Now into Albuquerque territory. I wouldn't be surprised if they're the last team to touch the ball in the second half, the way they methodically move the football down the field.
Adams will show bump coverage here on first down. They'll run here with Grant Jr. Got a couple of blocks, and he's inside the 30. It's a foot race, and he's brought down by one of the safeties at the 19-yard line. Melodious Manning there to take charge of the tailback, but not before Grant Jr. continues to be the sole supplier of yards on the drive.
Just as I said, Tyler, they're going to score real quick here with explosive offense down the field. This is why I don't do analysis. They're constantly proving me wrong. I take it personally. It gets offensive. Good job for Chris Grant, but come on, man. You got to throw me a bone.
Boy, first and 10 from the 19-yard line. Up the middle. Well, there you go. The run game finally stopped. Maybe they'll pass for you there, Cam. No gain on the play.
73 yards, 5.2 yards a carry. Last week for Chris Grant Jr., he was 168 yards on 39 carries. That's a little over 4. So he's even improving on last week's epic effort.
They go to him again. Yes, they will. Another little trap play, another couple of good blocks. That's a gain of this time for 5 yards before he's gang tackled at the 14.
Big third down here for the Navigators, 17-6. Feels like not necessarily an insurmountable lead, but I don't think we're going to be, both teams are going to be putting up 30 points here tonight with the pace of play. So a touchdown would feel a little insurmountable here with the way that this game's been going.
Play action, Brown over the middle. It is incomplete. Intended for Kenny Hendricks. No dice. There comes the field goal unit.
Yeah, let's get another look at this one after a glitch in the matrix. Man, that was close. I appreciate Michael Brown's aggressiveness there, trying to make something happen. He's probably lucky it didn't get intercepted. That would have taken at least 3 points off the board, and here's another opportunity for Annapolis's kicker, Louis Monsieur, to boot in another one.
And going back to Mike St. Green's points, I got nothing but love for MSG, but where have you been all season, Mr. Man in the studio from a season ago? Come on, man. And that's a really dicey kick, but it somehow gets up and good here for the Navigators. It's now back out to a 7-point lead, 13-6 here for Annapolis.
Divas, Tyler, they wait until game 179 of the regular or of the schedule, and they say, you know what, I'll show up now. I'll show up for the big moments.
I mean, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he show up for the championship game and request to be in the studio with Paulie and myself? That's gonna be fun. Yeah, he's okay. You tell us Friday there, Mr. Mike St. Green. It'll be good to have you in the booth in all seriousness. And we're looking forward to the championship game. Arizona-Baltimore, the rematch. Second ever rematch of a championship game in SFL history. First one was Alaska and Jacksonville, all the way back in the glory days for the Storm franchise. As the Adams will take over now, down by 7, just over 2 minutes to go.
Then Denver faced Alaska once they were Florida 2 years later after their first meeting. Both of those games were instant.
Run left side, nothing doing. Potentially the final play of regulation up until the 2-minute warning, as Nick Twice is there on the stop.
Albuquerque going to try and avoid third and long situation here. They're going back to the heavy set, maybe get slapped outside, strong side. Annapolis was ready, though. 2-minute warning.
We'll have to wait and see. After the 2-minute warning break, you're watching the SFL Minor League on SFL YouTube. And thank you, Fox. It was not Jacksonville, it was Tallahassee, or potentially. The Jacksonville franchise, the Florida franchise for us modern folk. 2nd and 11. Here for the Adams, coming out of the 2-minute warning here in the first half. Power eye set. They try and run near side. Slap gets a couple extra blocks. He sprung free to the near sideline. He has one man to beat and is tackled at midfield. Good hustle from Ibariaman England, the two-way player out of Carolina.
The Adams flipped it on him. They were going to run strong side left. They run strong side right, and look at that block right at the end there. That finally gets slapped out into the open field. First time all night.
Clock will continue to roll here as the coverage backs off from those DBs. Most of them standing behind the 10-yard line to gain. Run by Slap, but I guess they didn't need that many people up in front. Slap only able to get a yard. And this is what killed Albuquerque last week.
Yeah, they struggled.
They went to the power eye in these types of situations and tried to go hurry up on them, and it went back to bite them. And they go here in the power eye, just a minute to go again this
Crazy.
week. This time it'll be a pass, looking near side. It is caught. Good little run here from Slap, and they're going to go back into the hurry up. We saw this happen last week. 8 men in the box here for Annapolis. They'll try and run the same play again. This time they go left here for the fullback Sky. Sky can't go anywhere upfield. Maybe a gain of 1. Albuquerque calls a timeout. Be 4th and 3.
Man, good read, Tyler, from Patak. I mean, that was the right throw, but it was just ruined by Sky there. Just poor execution on the back half of that play. And I think the Adams may be going for this.
Well, how about that? Little bit more aggressive than last week, Cam. And they come out with the empty backfield, 4 wide out look. 4th and 3, need to get beyond the 40-yard line, stepping up, looking near side. They had to come back for it. It just hits his fingertips and floats out of bounds. That's a turnover on downs, and the Navigators take over.
Remember earlier in this game when Stephen Forbes tackled Ty Patak in the backfield for a sack? Patak started scrambling, right? And in that moment, Ty Patak, I think, could have stepped up and ran, but I think he was a little spooked from taking that big hit earlier in the quarter. Stephen Forbes, once again, making an impact for this defense. Justin Petersburg was also in there, and Annapolis now has 40 seconds and change.
Bumps once, Brown over the middle. Good connection for a good gain of about 15 yards as they immediately flip the field.
Morrison's been clutch tonight. He's really won the battle on that left side. Really playing a good football game, and he has helped keep Annapolis balanced, helped keep that Albuquerque defense on their toes to prevent them from gaining up on Chris Grant Jr. in the backfield. And that's been the biggest part of the Annapolis offense in this first half. I'd give MVP of that offense right now to Morrison.
6 men on the line here for the Adams defense. They will send for quick hitter underneath near side here for the tailback, Grant Jr. He comes up with a gain of 7, and the Navigators call their second timeout.
Annapolis much more efficient right now in their 2-minute offense. Michael Brown, I think, has maybe learned his lesson from that interception that he threw earlier in the ball game. He looks sharp once again, bouncing back.
In short, the 35-yard line. They will try and throw it. This time over the middle. Wide open is the tight end, Quinzel Jones, and they're back to the line. 20 seconds to go.
The screen was covered. What a great read by Brown to go elsewhere.
Do it again. Play action under pressure.
Oh.
Brown escaped it, looking right-hand side. He tried to spin it, a smash! Jesus Smith with a smite on the quarterback.
Oh, man, and I hope that didn't pull him out of field goal range. Just terrific pursuit. Michael Brown, I don't know how he got out of it from the get-go, but Jesus Smith, 6'1", 230, gets a minor league linebacker sack and makes this much more difficult for Monsieur. But, hey, this will put you on the map as a kicker in the SFLm if you can boot this 49-yarder through.
Hit from 47. This for a new career long of 49. Snaps a little wobbly. Kick is on its way.
Boom.
It is good from 49. And so the Navs take the turnover on downs and turn it into points.
Wowzers. That is not seen every day around here on Wednesdays and Friday nights on YouTube. And he probably could have made it from 51. That's a stellar kick from Louis Monsieur, 6'2", 180. Man, that elevates you to the top of the draft board if you need a kicker out there. My goodness.
We talked about it earlier when he was walking up for his first kick. Missed his first career field goal, but look at what he's done since. Very nice job from Monsieur. Here comes Bob Wood on the return, and Albuquerque will have one play to maybe add a little bit of spice in the game, but right now a 10-point lead Navigators, and it doesn't look like that's changing anytime soon. Cam, give us your thoughts as we look at Albuquerque's last play and maybe going into halftime as well.
Yeah, surprising how long this 2 minutes of the second quarter have drawn on. but Albuquerque still through it all finds themselves trailing.
Quick drop pass over the middle is caught behind the line to gain. It results in a first down, but results in the end of the first half. 16-6. Navigators with that 10-point lead over the Albuquerque Adams. Adams need to change something up. These first 6 quarters of action camp just haven't gone their way.
It's hard to put a finger on, isn't it, Tyler? I mean, it just, they started slow. I can't remember. Joshua Williams will tell me in the chat. I can't remember if it was last season or the season before that, but they got off to a slow start to start a season as they, got guys progressing and started to figure out what the identity of this team would be. And it's got that similar feeling of you can't doubt a 3-time champion at any point as long as they're in contention. And I'm not doubting them here either. I think they're going to figure it out. But right now, it's Annapolis that looks a little bit more composed through the first 2 quarters of this one.
And there's Joshua Williams saying they started off 0-3 last season and they came back and won the ship. So everything is possible here. Is a nice run here from Grant Jr. He's out of attack behind the 40-yard line and up to the 45. Excellent opening half run for Chris Grant Jr.
Well, another look at this one here. Grant Jr., when does he first get touched? Right there on the legs, maybe 7-8 yards down the field. That's been the story. I mean, it's not like Albuquerque isn't there. It's just Annapolis is just there first, Tyler. I mean, it's tremendous downfield blocking.
They have the speed and the wherewithal to be in those type of situations. As another run, more excellent blocking, just right on cue. Grant again, another first down for Annapolis.
When does he get touched the first time on this one? I mean, it's more of the same, and I love what Annapolis is doing. We're up 10. We can run the ball. We don't need to overcomplicate things. Right now, we're just acting like the better unit at the moment.
They have to put extra people in the box now here in the heavy set. 8 men in the box here for Albuquerque as here comes Brown stepping up. Hit as he throws. Late flag. Are they going to tag him with roughing the passer or something else? I have no idea. Down to R62.
The ball hit the lineman in the back.
He was across the line too. That's tough. That is tough. Maybe this is what helps bounce things more back into Albuquerque favor, but that's Rashad Wallace, the tackle with the infraction. Unfortunately for him, nothing he could do about it. That'll set Annapolis back a few paces. So it's now 1st and 15 here for Annapolis after the illegal touching, they will call it. Just on the opposite side of midfield. Run play, Grant, more blocking, but this time Albuquerque's alive to it. Only 1 yard on the run, as getting to it was Windsor. Windsor again is performing excellently in his debut. We take a quick look at Brown's numbers. Does have that 1 interception, no touchdowns, but hasn't really needed to use his arm too much, but he'll go to it here. Pass finds the open man. That's Kenny Hendricks. That's a good pickup of 11 yards, and it'll make 3rd down much more manageable as it will be 3rd down and 3 yards to go.
There's a lot going on in the SFL tonight, SFLm action, Tyler. Guess what? Breaking
What do we
news.
got?
New defensive coordinator in Alamo City is Liam Crowder.
Whoa!
What's it been? 2 days?
2 days after he sells his team.
Now he's
and
got to win
joins
Diva
another-
of the Week.
Wow. That ball goes out of bounds with Brad Taylor right tailing out of there, but I nominated him after about an hour and 10 minutes. I looked it up. He says, you know what? I thank you, London. Thank you for being my team. I'm available, everybody. And then he is now the defensive coordinator in Alamo City. San Antonio. That's a massive change from London. Dreary and rainy all day to being sunny and summer all the time. I don't know how he's going to cope with that. Fair catch called for by Bob Wood at his own 12-yard line. That is where Albuquerque will take over. And this summer, you can play the SFL video game on the go with the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, an emulator for 4K 23 right in the palm of your hand. Pre-order your Retroid today at GoRetroid.com. Search SFL or through the all-new league website at SimulationFL.net. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are going, huh? What? Yeah, Liam Crowder, new defensive coordinator in Alamo City. Just announced merely seconds ago, courtesy of our commissioner, Cameron Irvine.
And guess what, Tyler?
What else do we got? What more news have you got for us?
2 days early, the SFL Retroid is sitting on my desk as we speak.
Wow.
It was a huge surprise this morning, and oh my gosh, is it gorgeous to look at.
Didn't that have to get shipped over from like France or something like that to get over
other
here?
side of the world, basically. It is
Wow.
here. It is in studio.
That is phenomenal. I'd love to get my hands on one of those, maybe at the convention. Maybe I'll pre-order one here with all the movie expenses coming up. But a run up the middle here this time from words are hard. From the Adams goes for about 3 yards. 3rd and 7 coming up.
We'll get to other action in SFLm, too, because we got stuff bouncing around this league right now. But 3rd and 7 for Patak. This is huge.
It's coming past your side. Finds a man turning upfield. Gets the first down crucially for being blasted. That's Bob Wood with the reception.
The margin of error there was real small. Bob Wood had to get upfield quick. He does. Coaches always want to see, how do you navigate the sideline? How can you make things happen in the tight spaces? Wood passes the test.
Flip out right side, caught with room to work there for Slap. That's a 7-yard scamper on after reception up to the 31.
Okay, so Tacoma and Lexington right now, 24-0. Lexington led in the fourth quarter. Tacoma is 4 yards away from a touchdown when the receiver fumbles. Tacoma challenges. It's ruled an incomplete pass, but the drive stalls out. They kick a chip shot field goal, and they miss it. They still have 0, Tyler. 24-0 with 7 minutes left. That would be a shocking shutout in a battle of 2 unbeaten teams.
Wow. It just goes to show how much Lexington has improved season after season. The coaching staff has just gotten better and more experienced as the seasons have progressed. Slap only a yard in the play. That's Tana with the stop. It brings up 3rd down.
Another third down opportunity here for Albuquerque, but they've been in 3rd and shorter situations so far in the 3rd.
A run play up the middle, nothing doing. Slap is corralled at the line of scrimmage by Tana again on back-to-back plays. Sets up 4th and short.
See the difference in the 2 running games right now, Tyler? For Josh Slap to get anything going, they've had to get him on the outside with a lead blocker. Anytime he goes inside, like on that play on 3rd down, Tyler, I lost him. I didn't know where he went. He got swallowed up by the Annapolis defense, the polar opposite of what we've seen for running lanes for Chris Grant Jr.
Nice little move there from Morrison on the return. He gets up to his own 40-yard line after the juke. That's where Annapolis will take over. And right now, we talked about earlier when Albuquerque made their first little comeback attempt, that the Navs might have been a little bit nervous because they're playing the defending champs, but all they have to do is keep their composure here on these next couple of drives, and they'll have the victory in the bag. 1st and 10, handoff up the middle, and sometimes the shotgun handoff works. That time, like most times tonight, just hasn't gone their way.
Gino McFly is in the chat saying, I have arrived. If you have not read his article, even though SFLm has started this week, go and read his comprehensive look at week 1 and week 2 of SFLm on simulationfl.net. It was a fantastic article. Thanks for your contribution to the community, Gino.
Very good read. Gino, pass over the middle. That's caught by Sutherland. That's a pickup of about 6 to the 46-yard line. And that's something that we can do much more efficiently and easily with that new website, is we can get more people writing articles, more beat writers, and Gino McFly being the pioneer for the SFLm in that category this season.
Love to hear what Gino says about the back end of that thing.
5-step drop, Brown middle, and the coverage he's picked up for the second time tonight. Goes all the way back to the 42-yard line. First it was Al Ingram, the third. This time it's Melodious Manning with the INT.
Manning making a play on defense. Who would have thought? In both leagues, Mannings belong on offense, but Melodious trying to prove us wrong there. Beautiful read of the football. 5th interception in 2 games for Michael Brown. That is his weakness so far this season. Yet the Navigators still with a comfortable lead at the moment. We'll see what they can do on defense. Tyler, Albuquerque has been tightening things up with this 3-back set seemingly all night long. It's kind of surprising.
We'll see if it works for him this time around. Handoff.
Wow.
And, well, like you said, partner, he's been swallowed up even with that lead blocker this time. Joe Tana comes away with another tackle.
31 yards on every carry that wasn't the stretch play to the outside that resulted in nothing for Albuquerque, that 4th down failed attempt.
2nd and 12 after the loss. Pass near side, deflected, incomplete. Will Stern, the free safety lurking upfield, comes away with the deflection. Brings up 3rd and long here for Albuquerque.
Man, when are the Adams are going to find something? Remember what we saw in the first quarter, Tyler, with the fade route that was, wide open to Sam Harrison. Where has that been tonight?
It's all because Nick Twice was right there.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll see if they go.
That's true.
So let's see if they go to it again. It looks like it's another go route near side, except they go over the middle. Oh, what an up! Dan Dietrich laid out to stop the pass to Harrison. And it's a 3-and-out after the INT. Adams cannot capitalize.
And that's a really great point you made, Tyler, because since Nick Twice deflected that football, Albuquerque's been a little hesitant to go down the field, push the ball 20-plus yards down the field. I think Nick Twice and the rest of the secondary may be in the head of type attack just a little bit tonight.
Comes the return here from Hendricks. He gets up to the 26, no further as he's brought down, and that is where Annapolis will start that next drive. By the way, if you ever wanted to be the play-by-play or analyst broadcaster live on an SFL game, the SFL is looking for passionate SFL participants or viewers like you to join the team for the minor league season ahead of season 21's kickoff in July. Please visit simulationfl.net/broadcasting for more details on how you can get involved and get your voice on the call. We would very much love to have you on board with myself, Cam, Mike Daggs, Chris Curtis, and the rest of the crew.
And get this, Tyler. Here's a name you might hear sometime soon on a broadcast. Got this tonight from the new league website. My name is Brandon Bigsby. I'm a 21-year-old broadcaster, big fan of the work of SFL, would love to join coverage. Since 2021, I've been doing NHL esports coverage with Demeo Media Group, having casted events for multiple NHL teams, such as the Washington Capitals, Anaheim Ducks, and Toronto Maple Leafs. Currently do live radio broadcasts for my local university during their respective sports seasons and have called multiple years of high school football as well. His mentor may also be interested in the opportunity. This just happened. We are just full of news going on tonight in the SFL. It's wild.
We would very much appreciate Bigsby coming along, and maybe I'm looking forward to hearing some of his calls if he gets a shot. We'd love to have him. Pass over the middle, caught for a gain of 5 yards. Quinzel Jones, who has been more often than not, the go-to man in the receiving game here for Michael Brown.
Another new name, Petey Zeller, you may hear on broadcast. He got his schedule's all turned around. Was supposed to be on the broadcast tonight. Hopefully we'll hear from him next week as well. And maybe if anyone else wants to get involved, we'll hear from you too, as Jesus Smith hurt on the play.
Oh, no, and Trent Windsor made the play, and that's unfortunate for the Adams, but it just goes to show that extra signee, Windsor, has played really well in his debut, and now can help cover Smith's spot.
Yeah, Windsor's been the MVP of this defense for much of the night. Alex Marshall, surprisingly, has been a little quiet, but Annapolis really hasn't pushed the ball his direction.
Slants over the middle, caught by Hendricks. That crosses midfield into Albuquerque territory to the 48.
Tacoma has avoided the shutout, Tyler. 31-6. They just got a score.
Oh, thank goodness. Didn't want a 34-0 result, which Annapolis knows all too well, and they've been saying all game. They've been playing with a chip on their shoulder, and that time Albuquerque makes Grant Jr. think twice about which direction he's going, and Windsor comes up with another tackle. They'll give that one a behind the line, second one of the ball game for him.
You know, Tyler, this game, I don't know how you feel about it. It's been kind of weird. Like 2 minutes to go in the third, and I feel like nothing has changed from the opening drive of these first two teams. It's really bizarre.
It's Annapolis has had their way with Albuquerque for most of this game. Sans maybe one drive toward the middle part of the second quarter, whereas Albuquerque has gotten their first points. But since then, like you said, 16-6 right here as we go under the 2-minute mark. Here in the third quarter, Albuquerque needs to find something. We thought they had a couple sparks with a couple of big plays, 2 interceptions, really nothing to show for it besides the 2 field goals. 4 wide here on third down. Here for Michael Brown, they go with a run up the middle, and Grant can't get the first down, but that was a gutsy play call that almost worked.
Man, that was a great play call. I'd love to see him go for this. That was shocking. I thought that was going to be a sack in the backfield. The whole play was going to be blown up, and I think it took the Albuquerque defender, I missed the number, I think it took him by surprise as well. Annapolis wisely is going to play field position here because their defense has been excellent, but wow, that was a great play call.
Here comes the punt here from Carmichael, angling left-hand side. That'll bounce at the 7, corralled and stopped at the 4-yard line. Excellent coverage there from the Navigators. That was Fletcher Daly who pinned him deep. With 57 seconds to go, Albuquerque is, well, not backed up on the score line, but also backed up in terms of field position.
Man, everything going the Navigators' way tonight. Now they're pinning Albuquerque inside the 5-yard line. I mean, they just can't seem to do anything wrong here recently. Albuquerque needs a huge play on offense, something 40-plus.
You could say the Navigators are navigating their way through this game with excellent precision and direction, and we get an update from Jesus Smith. He needs to eat some potassium. He's got a cramp.
I could say that, Tyler, but I typically don't try to take the low-hanging fruit.
You're not trying to take the wind beneath my sail, huh, is what you're saying? Near side, nothing doing. It's Tan Dietrich. Another good play. Brings them all the way back to the original line of scrimmage, and then some.
3rd and long from your own 4. I think Albuquerque just concedes. They'll run the football here, make sure that they can get their punter some room, and try to hold this game to a 2-score game as long as they can.
They go with smart play. They run with slap. Nothing doing a whole lot. Dietrich there on the stop. 2-yard pickup. It'll be 4th down to start the 4th quarter. Get your 4s, 12s, 86s, 68s up in chat. You're watching the Simulation Football Minor League here on YouTube. Over to Chris Curtis. Tell you what our rights are.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Welcome back to Annapolis, Maryland. Tyler Falk, alongside the SFL Commissioner, Cameron Irvine, here for Week 2 of Season 7 of the SFL Minor League. Happy we could have you company as the blitz is coming, but the quick punt from Bennington is on its way. This will be a short punt. Oh, he gets turned around. Oh, what a hit on Morrison for the 37.
Yeah, he's going to feel that one tomorrow. That's the difference between athletes and not athletes, Tyler. An athlete feels a crushing hit like that, and a guy like me feels that shoulder he pulled trying to open the microwave from the day before. It's a big difference. That one hurt me from up here.
Oh, boy. Hand off near side. Grant loses 2 yards. 2nd and 12. And we want to remind you that 8 p.m. Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. 8 p.m. Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit 8pmmusic.com. Another handoff here for the tailback, Grant, and he'll get up to the 35, and they'll bring up 3rd and medium.
Windsor again, Tyler, and Chris Grant hasn't been as involved tonight because Annapolis has not had the football as much, and Michael Brown's been playing a better overall game tonight as well. Windsor continues his great night.
Pass right side, that's hauled in without any trouble by Sutherland. That gets him to the 30-yard line, and that will put them in Monsieur range, who has been excellent tonight, knocking one from 47 and 49.
Just a kicker's dream, right, Tyler? A kicker's dream on a night like this. There's not many points on the board, but there have been plenty of opportunities for kickers to separate the lead here this evening.
Here for another 47-yarder or thereabouts. High snap corral. Monsieur's kick is up. It is good again from 47. He cannot miss tonight.
Man, what'd he have for breakfast? Sign me up. I hope that's in our hotel at the convention.
The King's Sandwich has said this perfectly. I'm just going to copy and paste. The winds of fortune have favored the Navigators as the atoms melt down. Or in old-timer sports voice, the winds of fortune have favored the Navigators as the atoms melt down. Is that better? Does that meet everyone's expectations? Maybe not. But answers on a postcard. As the Navigators will kick us off again.
A little jamboree.
Oh, just a little bit. Maybe some good old music on the megaphone. Good little return here from one out to the left-hand side. Best return of the night. Maybe that is another spark in the engine for the Atoms that maybe pushes them on to bigger and better things.
King Sandwich, tell us who you are, man. That's a new username I have not seen often around here. I'm sure you're a player on the field tonight. Would love to make a connection between username and avatar.
19-6. Here in Annapolis, Adams need to get going. If they want to come back in this football game, this is Adams football. They like going to the power I. Gonna try a little swing pass left-hand side. Nothing doing. Slap hauls it in again at the line of scrimmage. He can't get upfield quick enough. No gain. That'll bring us to 2nd and 10. A little over 9 minutes to go here in regulation. Still plenty of time here for Albuquerque to make something happen. Do they test Nick twice for the first time since the first drive of the ball game? Standing in the pocket, looking for someone to throw. Takes too long. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair after a loss of 6. Eugene Simons takes him down.
That's a coverage sack right there. Type attack, looking for anyone to get open. And by the time It looked like somebody was starting to get open. It wasn't his first read, no doubt. Marcus Brody over the middle. It was too late. He had 2 Navigators barreling down on him. It's just, whereas last week Albuquerque looked like they had some juice in the first half, they've just been flat all night.
4-man rush, attack, under pressure again, and here's thrown back by Petersburg. Another sack here for the Annapolis defense. They have been coming, running with a abandon in the backfield, and they'll have to punt.
That's, man, I have no words left, Tyler. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Just in a rut right now is Albuquerque. Ty just looking for any spark. Credit this Annapolis secondary. You know, Annapolis has given up 20 points now in 8 quarters. That's 2 points a quarter, Tyler. They've been pretty spectacular.
It's been a tremendous start to this very young season here for Annapolis. There has to be massive shout-outs going to J.W. Hartshorn, the defensive coordinator here in Annapolis. He has done a perfection of a job putting together the defensive side of the football this early going. As their offense gets back on the field, they'll start with a run up the middle for the tailback Grant Jr. He gains 2.
And look at Alex Marshall being a leader. He's been so quiet tonight. He comes storming in to make the tackle on Grant Jr. I mean, that was a perfect read from Alex Marshall, taking matters into his own hands when his team needs to stop the most.
Get an answer from King Sandvich here in a second. Pass over the middle. That interception, unfortunately, 3rd time's the charm for Annapolis as they get Evan Miller to jump offside. That negates the interception, gives the Navigators a free 5 yards. Very unfortunate for Albuquerque.
And who got the pick? Alex Marshall. I mean, he is trying to single-handedly will this team to a victory on this drive, and he is just not getting help from his teammates, from his offense, from anybody. It must have been a frustrating night for Alex, too, because they haven't targeted him deep down the field. They've largely stayed away from him.
Bottom of your screen is Johan Sutherland, and that is King Svenvich, his player here in the SFLm. He's got a good knack for the vernacular. Maybe we get Sutherland here on play-by-play. He's got at least the words and the vocabulary to do it, partner. Maybe we see him on a call.
Would love it.
1st and 10 now. Here for the Navigators. Offset single back. Here for the Navs as we tick closer to the 6.5-minute mark. 7 defenders on the line. Here for Albuquerque, pass near side on the screenplay. Got a couple extra blocks. Oh!
Look at...
He stopped immediately. Alex Marshall coming out of nowhere. Woo!
This is amazing, Tyler. This is crazy. He is willing. Trying to force fumbles, getting picks, making hits, good reads. Like, we literally have not said his name all night. This is impressive. What's he going to do on this play?
It's been his 4th quarter, 2nd and 3, hand up, ran up the middle, gets caught up, and he's tackled again. Yard shy. This time it's the other man who is the story of the game for the first 3 quarters, Trent Windsor with the stop.
Final score in Lexington, 31-13 over Tacoma. Lexington beat San Jose 30-13 last week, so almost a duplicate performance there from Lexington. They go to 2-0.
Passing play, Brown, middle, bobbled, incomplete. To the receiver, Quinzel Jones. He's been the sure man to go to that time. The feet behind him that was Shane Cook. My apologies. On the intended reception, but the footsteps from behind from Jadabidu, just a little bit too heavy for him to hold on.
Yeah, that's not Michael Brown's fault there. He put that pass in a perfect position. If Annapolis wanted to go for it here, Albuquerque's been a bit jumpy. This is a moment that I would be okay with a hard count situation, take a timeout because you have nothing to lose. They're going for it.
Go with a run on 4th and 1. They get the first down. Grant Jr. powers his way through, untouched until he passed the line to gain. Navigator first down.
I was watching an NFL Classic game last night on YouTube. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, 2004. It was the battle for Pennsylvania that year. And early on in the game, Pittsburgh went for it because they basically said, we know you can't stop us. That's just what Annapolis did. We know that we can get a yard with our run game. We're going to bleed this clock.
It's coming. Brown avoids it somehow and fires an accurate pass to Goldie Morrison, who gives the Navigators another first down.
Poise from Michael Brown. And look at what Annapolis is doing, right? Last week, Michael Brown led his team down the field for a brilliant 2-minute offensive drive to go down and win the game. Here, when Annapolis needs to close Albuquerque out, what are they doing? They're trusting Michael Brown. He's been here before. He delivered. He's delivering again.
Offset single back, screenplay near side, good little room to run. Marshall again with a hit. He is laying the lumber on Grant Jr. all throughout this fourth quarter, and he's giving him a little ribbon as they go back to their respective huddles.
We're going to remember this night between Chris Grant Jr. and Alex Marshall, and if they get drafted, we're going to have to look to see where that game falls on the schedule if they get to play each other.
Instant Impact Monday?
Maybe if they keep hitting each other like this.
Second 4, 8 men in the box for Albuquerque's defense. I formation here for Annapolis as they will try and milk some clock. Here's Grant Jr. right side. He stops short of the line to gain. 3rd and 1 coming up. Clock will be continued to run. No hustle, no hurry from Annapolis. They have the game by 13 points right now. Albuquerque has to make a stop. A stop here would keep it potentially a 2-score ball game. And off middle, Grant gets taken out, but does kick up the first. Oh, this is close.
Man, Annapolis just continues to eat clock away. Yeah, I was going to say it's all or nothing here for Albuquerque. They have got to get off the field and get this ball back. You have to challenge this.
Joshua Williams says enough is enough, and we go under the hood with R62 for a second look at this one.
Let's see.
Not the best angle here is a good one.
Right. If you look at the stick on the far sideline, it was a little bit past that yellow line. I don't think he got it. Good challenge.
And R62 agrees. It'll be 4th and inches, but like you said, partner, Annapolis went for it on 4th and short earlier in the drive because they knew they couldn't stop him. Do they do it again?
I think they're going to – Monsieur, when you talk about Michael Brown, right, putting the game in his hands, why not keep building this guy's confidence? He's about to go 5 for 5 if he can boot this through. Even if he misses, Albuquerque's got to go the length of the field twice.
To make it a 16-point margin. From 40 yards out, kick is up. It is good. 5 of 5, Luis Monsieur.
What a night for this dude. Get this man the player of the game. I mean, it's just I can't think of one time where a minor league kicker went 5 for 5. It just doesn't happen. Maybe I'm forgetting somebody, and the chat will help educate me. But 5 for 6, 4 for 5, maybe. But I mean, a perfect 5 for 5. He literally has the lead for Annapolis right now. He is responsible for 16 points in this game, and Albuquerque is down by 16.
He has the exact gap that the Adams will have to climb in 2 minutes, 52 seconds. Do the defending champs have something left in the tank? Do they have something else they can give us to maybe climb back into this one? Here comes Patak and the offense. They will start in the gun. with 4 wideouts. 2 to Patak's left, 2 to Patak's right. 3-2 dime here for Annapolis. Patak to throw. It's a swing pass, left side. Slap, nothing doing, stop the line of scrimmage. Back to the line they come.
This is like Waterboy, where the commentator's saying, I can't hold anything back now. And Brent Musburger says, I know. Stop saying that.
Pass, middle, caught. There's a first down. That's moving the football down the field to the 44-yard line, and they're back to the gun in a hurry. Third play of the drive, under 2:30 to go. Stepping up, throwing off his back foot. Fine slap. And sometimes you think that play should go forward on that little swing pass, but I think that was the best thing they could possibly do, is get out of the bounds, stop the clock, change up the formation.
Yeah, I think Patak saw his opportunities down the field, and he said, you know what? I need to make sure that I don't get tackled in bounds. Let me get it out to Slap, and he can run it out, and we can reset here.
They'll keep the formation. Dime package switches up slightly. Now 4 down linemen here for Annapolis. They do the same screenplay. They do get out of bounds, and it goes nowhere. I understand where this play could become effective, Cam, but tonight is just not one of those nights.
Well, and what's happening here, Tyler, is because Annapolis has been so successful on their back line of their defense, Albuquerque is trying to find success anywhere else. And unfortunately for them, they have to go downfield at some point.
Have to test it here. 3rd and long, pass middle, off his fingertips. Joe Idle couldn't haul it in. 4th and 11, you have to go for it, down by 16.
Disappearing act tonight from Joe Idle, not the performance we saw last week in Lincoln. He has struggled to get open. This I want to call them all out by name at this point. Nick Twice, Luke Schreiner, Abari Aman-Eaglin, Will Stearns, Strike Vader. Man, phenomenal job on the back end tonight.
4th and 11 from their 43-yard line. Attack to throw, has to go deep. He's heaving it over the middle, wide open receiver, first down.
Look how long he had to wait, though, Tyler, for somebody to get open. I mean, he's having to go to 3rd and 4th reads here.
He had to find Josh Slap, the tailback, running the in routes out of the backfield. 1st and 10, 2-minute warning. Albuquerque down by 16. You're watching the SFL Minor League here on YouTube.
You know, it's worth noting, Tyler, that Drew Riley, the head coach of Annapolis, coached the #1 defense in the SFL in terms of interceptions. He knows how to coach some DBs on the back end.
And they come away with an interception here. Patak, under pressure, has to get rid of it, and goes backward. That's a pretty common sight tonight, unfortunately, for Albuquerque.
The good news, though, for Albuquerque is they are moving the football, and there is still time, and they still have 3 timeouts. It's a 2-score game. If they can score, if they don't burn any timeouts, they can score with a minute left, 50 seconds left, and still have a shot at this one. They just have to stay patient here.
High formation, 3-3 nickel here for Annapolis. 2nd and 11, pass left side is caught. Good turn upfield. That's a good first down. That's 1st and 10 from the 26. Joel Isle comes up with the reception, makes amends after unable to haul in the post route over the middle and a couple plays ago. Swing pass this time near side here for Slap, turning upfield. He's taken down after a gain of 2. Minute 36 to go on the clock.
And now Slap has to hustle all the way back to the hash mark. It burned 8 seconds off the clock.
Minute 25 to go. Attack, near side, caught on the line. Good for about 6 to Bob Wood. That stops the clock.
Annapolis is thinking, how? Are they still in this thing? We've done everything right. How is this happening right now? But easier said than done to finally punch it in the end zone, which the Adams have failed to do all night.
Does their fortunes change here? 20 yards from pay dirt. And potentially the first step in the right direction. Pass left side. That is caught. First down, out of bounds, Idle.
I think that's going to stand. When he threw the football, I thought for sure Idle got the feed in. That was closer than I think Albuquerque would like to admit, but no challenge, or no review, rather.
All reviews, of course, come by the officials under 2 minutes. Officials say that was good to go. 1st and 10 now from the 16-yard line. Minute 20 to go. Have to get to the end zone quickly. He pumps once, flips it out. Over to Slap, left side. Had time, but he's wrapped up inbounds. Clock will roll. Slap now has tussled back behind center. Attacking to throw again. Looking near side this time. Cotton trying to turn up field. And the first down inside the 5 at the 4. Under a minute to go now. Back to the line they come.
Yeah, I think you got to score here right now.
Sam Harrison on the last reception. They look for him again. End zone. Caught. Touchdown, Sam Harrison. Or check that. Bob Wood with the catch. That's the touchdown. And that's the first step in the direction. Now they need 2 points.
Woo, what a drive. That was painful, Tyler. I mean, that's been what we've seen all night long, but they got the job done. And I was going to say, Owen Montgomery is outside, 5'11", 191. They had a huge mismatch on that side. He saved the touchdown, couldn't save it on the third attempt from Ty. This is the game right here.
And all 2-point conversions, pass middle, clutch, deflection. Ibari, Aman, England comes away at deflection. It's now a 10-point, still a 2-score ball game. And everything now rides on the onside kick.
Good news for Albuquerque. They did execute no-huddle offense. It wasn't necessarily the most beautiful execution, but they did execute, which they have struggled with in the end of half and end of quarter situations over the first 6. They're just going to come up a little bit short. Got to find the little victories in life, and Albuquerque's got to figure out how they can open up this offense and get all their playmakers involved. This, I don't think, is what they were looking for tonight, but considering they were playing one of the better secondaries and one of the better coaching staffs for defensive backs in SFLm, I can understand where their approach was here tonight.
Annapolis recovers the onside kick. They will elect to pass. Little screen pass, which has been working for them tonight as, oh boy, here we go again. This time it's Zach Tracer, the backup tailback, who gets hit hard by Alex Marshall, and that's the first time out for Albuquerque.
I actually love this mentality, Tyler, because Albuquerque just took, a minute 20 seconds and a timeout to go and get a touchdown. They got all 3 timeouts. Try and put this game away. Michael Brown was clutch last week. You can trust him. And I just love the confidence the coaching staff is showing right there.
High formation. Backup quarterback Michael Morris will hand off to Tracer right side. That's a loss of maybe half a yard back to the 30-yard line. Albuquerque's second timeout.
Man, desperately trying to get Brad Taylor right to the outside. Tracer's like, please get out there. Please, they're coming for me. They're gonna get me. He got dragged down the line of scrimmage. That was that was not a masterclass in speed right there.
We'll try Tracer up the middle this time. Tracer hit hard. Gains a yard. Albuquerque call their final timeout. And it's on the leg now of the man of the hour, Luis Monsieur, to go 6 of 6 here in the SFLm. Player of the game if he makes that 100% in my book.
Yeah, I would agree. And it's another one from 40 plus, which I believe would be his 3rd tonight.
4th, actually. This would be a 4th beyond 40. 45-yard kick is up and good. Come on, Monsieur. Mr. Monsieur, ladies and gentlemen. Take a bow.
Man, I've never seen a kicker. I mean, this is incredible. For some reason, I feel like maybe Albuquerque kicked 7 field goals in a game before. Maybe it was Mickey. But I think he went 7 for 8. I think he missed one. Either way, this dude was 1 for 2 last week. Lewis is on the map. He has been outstanding tonight and the reason why Annapolis is going to win this game. Field goal's not a guarantee.
So it's back out to a 13-point lead here for the Navigators. 27 seconds to go, no timeouts. It looks to be another loss here for Albuquerque. They, if things stand as they are, will fall to 0-2. Navigators without Bailey O'Shaughnessy. It's been Chris Grant this season who has done a masterful job in the halfback category for Navigators. It'll try and come away with their second straight win to open up the campaign. Pass near side here from Attack, just on the outstretched arms. Will Stern in on the coverage.
This has got to be a scoregami, right, Tyler? 25-12? I mean, what a bizarre game, and a quite lengthy game at that, despite all of the running. It's just been a dragged out nightmare for the Adams here so far tonight. There's Type Attack's ratings. I mean, he hasn't played bad. The offense seems to have its training wheels on tonight. That's probably the best way I can put it.
Only one touchdown, 2 field goals to show for their efforts here tonight. Pass middle into covered, that is caught. First down beyond the 40-yard line. They're going to hustle back to the line. They're going to have to spike it. 12 seconds to go. There's a spike from Attack. 11 seconds. Game is all but over at this point. Or maybe one last roll of the dice from Attack, and the Adams can maybe send them back home happy.
So Albuquerque will host Tacoma next week. Tacoma will be coming off a difficult loss to Lexington. So both of those teams are going to be a little bit desperate to get a win there early on in this season. Lexington goes to Ottawa next week. We'll see Ottawa in the second block.
Hail Mary time. Stepping in the pocket. Attack. He will take off and run. He tries to truck his way past the defender. He gets 7. That's the final play of the ball game as the horn sounds. 25-12. The Navigators take their revenge from last season and move on to 2-0 here in Season 7.
And I'm sorry, forgive me, I said that Lexington was going to take on Ottawa next week. Annapolis will take on Lincoln, who we will see in the next block. Lincoln got a win last week as well. That could be a battle of unbeatens if the Rattlesnakes get the dub tonight, but Annapolis, just complete game from start to finish. That was one of the oddest games I've seen in 10 years, because from the start of the game to the end of the game, it never seemed like either team really changed course at all. It seemed like nothing that was happening in the game was affecting anything. You get an interception, no momentum. I mean, it was like the momentum meter tonight was just totally dead, and it all belonged to the foot of Louis Monsieur. What a performance. They better give him player of the game for that.
Instantly making a name for himself here tonight is we just see highlight after highlight after highlight of kicking. And this ain't soccer, this ain't football. This is, everywhere in the rest of the world calls it football. This is American football. Guys, and we're watching a kicker kick stuff between some posts and do an excellent job for it. 6 of 6 tonight. 4 of 4 from 40-plus yards. And Navigators doing an excellent job tonight. Albuquerque, they were 0-3 last season to start before they came all the way back into the playoff picture and came away with another championship. They're looking like they're going to have to do it again this season as they fall to 0-2. Cam, quickly, your player of the game. I think it's Monsieur. Who do you think?
Yeah, if it's not him, though, Michael Brown didn't have a perfect game tonight, but he's developing into a really great player. But give it to the kicker. Oh, wow.
Chris Grant, 133 yards, no touchdowns, and 49 receiving yards, close to 200 all-purpose yards. But our player of the game was the sniper tonight, the French sniper, Monsieur, who comes away with an excellent performance to put Annapolis 2-0. This has been a presentation of the SFL and the SFL Minor League. For more information about the SFL, please visit our new website at simulationfl.net. If you like the game, leave a like. If you want to go check out the rest of it, the SFL, stay tuned for more action. Until then, for my partner, Cameron Irvine, I've been Tyler Falk. Until next time, good morning, good afternoon, good night.